You guys are like, hey man, wouldn't it be cool if we could, train a bunch of dudes to be badasses?
We pay the most, for sure.
Say my daughter's in Mexico and somehow she got nabbed. Would I call you?
What I do have are a very particular set of skills.
So there's listeners that want to play real Call of Duty.
Be dangerous, use violence, defend your family and country when it's necessary to.
You're not afraid of pain, are you?
No. No.
If you choose to accept this, good luck, gentlemen. What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, as always, I got a real treat for you, but this time I got two, Tyson Schulz and Matthew McCalla. Is it McCalla?
McCalla.
McCalla. Now, guys, these ain't your average people. They're basically almost like government contractors.
Mm-hmm.
Their business is called Night Division Tactical.
That's right.
That just sounds
KDT.
cool. Who came up with that name?
I did.
He did.
Yeah, it sounds
100%.
cool. So like Night Division Tactical. It's almost like spies and shit.
It's representative of the industry that we're in and also what we aspire towards.
And by the way, it's a high-level tactical training and private contracting firm out of Sheridan, Wyoming. And basically what started as a vision to raise the standard in tactical performance has become a fast-growing movement spreading across Texas, Utah, Oregon. That's where I grew up. And their mission, build elite operators and get them paid like pros with day rates ranging from 400 to 1,000. Is that accurate?
That's pretty accurate, yeah.
So
sure you're not in the CIA?
I'm very sure. Night Division isn't just about drills and checklists. These guys train warriors. Their programs are rooted in real-world application, firearms proficiency, close quarters combat, high stakes decision making, and the kind of leadership that turns civilians into mission ready assets. But what separates them? The code of virtues. Explain.
Yeah, so professional, capable, and virtuous, it's not just something that we say, it's something that we actually live. And we live it all the time, not just when we're out in the field or we're leading an operation or participating in an operation, but we try to live to pretty high standards even when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you have to. If that's called integrity and ethics.
Yeah.
And I believe you after talking to you for the last couple hours or however long we've been chatting, because you guys have a good faith-based background. You guys are solid in your faith. Usually that produces some good people just by that self. But you obviously have military training. That helps. When did you get out of the military?
2021.
And was this like, what were you guys doing before you decided this was the deal?
Different things. I mean, he was in the Army. I knew him. I met him while he was in the Army. And I was doing various things, mostly sales, starting little companies, I would say, and learning, preparing for KDT through all kinds of little ventures. I mean, I did everything from selling light bulbs with a buddy of mine to selling beds at Sleep Number. Shout out to Sleep Number. But
I hear those are pretty good.
It depends on who you are, but I like it quite a bit.
There's a new thing out called 8. You heard of that?
No.
Look it up.
I'm familiar.
Apparently everybody that I know that has an 8 sleep system, just the letter 8 or the number 8, says it's like freaking amazing. I'm almost going to get one, but I have one of those huge ass beds. They're called like King Alaskan Biggie Smalls Deluxe or something. It's huge, and you can't get normal stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But so you were selling beds.
I was selling all kinds of things, but basically my background is in sales. Born and raised on a ranch, so I have
In Wyoming?
No, Southern Indiana.
Huh.
Southern Indiana.
He downplays it, but he's a horse lord. Legitimately. That's what I call him.
Like a horse whisperer?
No, he would. It's actually very interesting because he won't sell himself on this point, but I think it's actually one of the coolest things that people don't know about him is that he did rodeo and he broke horses. So his job on that ranch, and I've spent a lot of time on that ranch myself now that we're best friends and business partners. He described this whole process to me. I'm from outside of Philadelphia. So I've lived in apartments, row homes. If somebody has a horse, it's because they're very rich and it's boarded somewhere outside of the city and they go to ride it occasionally. It's a very niche thing. Where he's from, people are actually legitimately cowboys. Mm. They actually herd cattle. They actually ride in rodeo. You know, his cousin, every time I met his cousin for the first couple times I was on that ranch, always had a broken arm. And that's actually because he got thrown off of a horse at a rodeo.
Yeah.
And then the horses are kind of vindictive, I've come to learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'll try to stomp on you. And so they stomped on him and just broke his arm, and he just got up and walked off like it was nothing. I bet you there are bones that have been broken by horses in this guy that he's just never even made mention of. He keeps it very quiet, but I can still see it shine through in some of the things that he does. Because I respect that intensity. I mean, hopping on a horse, putting your feet into its shoulder blades because it doesn't want to have a saddle because it's wild or something, and then holding onto it. I know I sound maybe not the most informed.
Sound like a greenhorn.
Yeah. Well, I don't really ride horses.
Yeah, well, I've ridden horses, man. They're scary beasts because they're so big. But I suppose once you get used to them, they're just like anything else.
Well, I mean, once you get used to them, it's like riding a car. I'd say easier, more natural.
Do you think horses were created for us to tame and ride?
Oh, I mean, what a great question. I'm not sure, but I'll tell you that once, you know, if you're raised in a culture where you're riding horses and with animals, there's a very close relationship between the rider and his horse. Actually, we have conversations about all sorts of things, obviously, but one of the conversations we have is that, like, when he's visited, he said, you know, you haven't, you know, brought me on a horse yet. And I said, well, those aren't my horses. And he's like, so, you know, and it's this understanding that, and for the people who ride, they'll know what I'm talking about. You don't really want other people riding your horse. In fact, and it depends. There's kind of two different horse cultures. There's like show horses and race and rodeo, or show people and race and rodeo people. But generally speaking, and ranchers, you know, whatever, are grouped in that. But generally speaking, if someone has a lack of talent or rides differently, it'll wear off on your horse. And your horse is yours. It's a reflection of how you ride and your training.
Really?
Your upbringing.
It's almost like you see an Avatar where they bond with those.
Yeah, I'm sure they took notes from some rancher probably.
So you grew up on a ranch?
Yeah.
So to you, it was just second nature.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of times, again, when him and I will have conversations, it'll be like, I'll be explaining something, and he's like, that sounds like you're from a different planet. And I've started to realize this over time, but, you know, yeah, I mean, it's very natural. A lot of the things that happen when you're raised on a ranch, a lot of things happen that you do realize don't happen outside of the ranch world. And you don't talk about certain things.
Like what?
Oh man.
Let's talk about them.
Like putting down an animal, protecting your livestock, things like that. How to train a horse.
What about Yellowstone? Have you watched it?
I've never watched it. I watched, no offense against the people on Yellowstone whatsoever. I have no beef, but I watched like the first, 15 minutes of the first episode And they took what would be considered a bronc, a wild horse, and he got it into the horse trailer. And let me tell you, that ain't happening. And then here's the crazy part. You might be able to get it in the horse trailer. Afterwards, he took it out of the horse trailer and it was still walking. That ain't happening.
Why would it be thrashing inside there?
No, you getting a bronc or a wild horse into a horse trailer is quite the event. And it is not, the reason probably why they didn't make it more realistic is because you can't really put something like that on TV. It's kind of, the horse, there's a reason it's called breaking, right? And it's not, breaking, getting them into the trailer. That's not breaking, but
breaking is letting them, or letting you ride it.
Breaking is breaking their
spirit,
breaking their spirit, and making them conform to your law and your rule. And
so how do you do that when they're that much bigger?
Well, there's a couple things you can do. I mean, but I'd say primarily, and the most well known, is you get on them and you ride them to exhaustion. And this goes back to what I was saying about putting the bronc in the horse trailer. Anyone who has dealt with a horse that is untrained, not broken, getting it into a horse trailer, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Things I won't even really say on the podcast.
Have you ever heard of a guy by the name of Dry Creek Dwayne?
Yeah, I think so.
He's on YouTube. He's like an old guy.
Yeah. No, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's a horseman.
You had him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said the same thing about Yellowstone. He said, I tried to watch that for a minute and figured out that ain't real.
Yeah.
So he'd probably be sitting here knowing what you're talking about, because he says he's a horseman.
Yeah,
a true horseman.
He seems to be.
So what are the things that you got to do to it? Well, let's get back to that, because I want to talk about Knights Division Tactical.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
All right, so you're being raised on a ranch. You met him in the Army, and then how did this? Because talking to you about your business, it doesn't, like, that's not your normal path. It's not your normal, hey, let's start a business that does this shit.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get hired for the first time? How did you recognize, hey, this is a business?
Well, we had an idea. I mean, kind of going back to this, he learned how to be a man probably very, very early, and was taught by hardship, horses, and throwing hay, which I didn't even know.
It's called baling.
Well, no, throwing.
Well, throwing is
then I threw hay, because I didn't bale it, but I'd go back. I'd follow behind a truck. This was back before there was equipment.
Yeah.
And you had to pick that shit up and throw it up on the truck. I called it baling hay, but what was that? Throwing hay?
Throwing hay.
Yeah, dude, that'll get you freaking rocked up quick. And growing up on a freaking ranch by itself makes you tough just all together. And then being in the rodeo seals the deal. Because, dude, you're not afraid of pain, are you?
No. No.
So where were you going with that? So he's tough from the get-go.
He's tough from the get-go.
He talks about me like I'm a hero.
I had to learn,
with friends like these.
Right. Whereas I had to learn over time. I am my father's son, but I didn't know my father. So I didn't really learn how to be a man until later. And I had to learn some of those lessons in the Army. How to just be a part of a group of 40 guys that you don't know, and to give of yourself to them, to kind of tamp down on your self-regard, to be humble, and to be a good member of a team, among other things. And to be tough, right? To be able to actually to do tough things, whether that's rucking up a mountain and not complaining, being tired, wet, cold, hungry for extended periods of time, fighting people even occasionally in controlled and uncontrolled environments. Those were things that came later to me in life, and actually some of our initial conversations and the basis of our friendship before we even started this business was that we had a lot of conversations about what it means to be a good man in the modern world.
Yeah.
And that was sort of the initial genesis of the idea of night division. Yeah. This idea that a part of being a good and competent man in modernity involves some degree of martiality, but controlled martiality.
Tell people what that means, the layman.
So the capability to be dangerous and to actually use violence in certain situations to defend your family and country, but then also to have the core of virtue, the internal code of ethics that guides you to know when not to use that and when it's necessary to, and to make those decisions accordingly. And we wanted to build something like that allowed other guys to train and to go through experiences like Ranger School or like boot camp or training that would help to inculcate that in them if they hadn't gotten it from some other part of life, but without necessarily having to commit 5 to 8 years or 10 years to a military contract at that time. So that was the genesis of it. Mm-hmm. How it developed over time, a little bit different, but we saw different opportunities and started to move towards them to make it profitable.
So it was just an idea. You guys were like, hey man, wouldn't it be cool if we could, train a bunch of dudes to be badasses?
I mean, yeah. And the first few conversations we ever had, we became friends essentially immediately. But the first few conversations we had, it's like, okay, this is the idea. And we moved towards that. And it was always an idea that it would be a thing. And I really believe that if you have it in your mind, God willing, if you have it in your mind and you are determined, completely determined, you'll make it happen. And so,
well, I'd say better pay attention because that's true.
Yeah.
God willing.
God willing.
So and the initial idea was to what? Just train, like put on boot camps for people?
To train, but then I kind of foresaw that if we have these guys train at a high level, some subset of them would be good at it and would want to continue with it. Mm-hmm. And those could be the cadre who continue to train other people. But then also I had this idea in my mind that they could form the basis of a private military and government contracting organization.
Which is what we have.
Which is now what we have. But at the time, this was an idea. The interesting thing is sometimes I'll have an idea about something and he will decide that it will happen. And then it does, actually. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of work, but
yeah, and there's a lot of overlap. I mean, he does the same thing with me. You know what? I love this guy. So when he says, "Hey, I'd like to make this happen," it's like, oh, well, how often do you get to be a good friend? Truly in life, it's like, well, I really want to make that. Like, if you were my best friend, and you're like Michael, which is the name I go by in business, I really want this to happen. It's like, I'm going to do everything it takes to make that happen. And he does the same thing for me. And we operate in different ways, but they're compatible. Thank God. I couldn't do any of it.
Well, who knew how to train people to that level?
That's this guy. I'm telling you, he's going to be modest, but he's extremely capable, extremely intelligent. Harvard grad. Top of his class.
Harvard grad?
Yeah.
Dang, dog, what's going on over there?
There's more to this man than you know. You might not know. He was a Ninja Warrior. He did all kinds of stuff. And
dude, I'm a fire who put my sheet together. They left off all the good stuff.
There's more to him than is even online, I would say. But what I would say is that he is our COO and I'm CEO. And basically the way that you can think about us is that I kind of look outside the company. And again, there's a lot of overlap, but I kind of look outside the company, think about getting new work, whatever. And he looks inside the company and manages all of the operations. Again, a lot of overlap. I'll think about like processes, this process or whatever with the operations. And he'll think about, I really want to do this work. And then we just make each other's dreams happen, really, through commitment and brotherhood.
But when you get a customer, it's like a government contract, essentially. Mm-hmm. So you guys can make a fortune with government contracts, no?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity.
Because governments waste money, including ours, especially ours.
Yeah.
So like you guys could get like a ridiculous amount of money to go do something. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no problem, because they can print it.
Yeah. And I mean, we don't want to take that for granted. We do a very good job. Glory to God. Do a very good job, mostly thanks to him. And
excellence matters.
Yeah.
Well, sure, they got to trust you. But once you have a good reputation with government,
keeps coming.
It's just they call these guys, call Knights Division.
Yeah.
So if there's people listening that want to become a knight, I would imagine they're knights. Mm-hmm. Will you train people? Will you take applications? Do they have to have military experience, or can they be like a meth head that's looking to clean up?
So the latter example might have some work to do before they come to us and apply. Mm-hmm. But the former, you don't have to actually have been in the military in order to come and work with us. Mm-hmm. You just need to apply. And then you need to meet our standards. And our standards over time are becoming more and more stringent, both because I want this organization to be a spear point of excellence in everything that we do. And as well, because we continually get better and better applicants.
So you're going to end up in the CIA.
Some people think that we already are.
Maybe you are. You wouldn't say you were if you were.
I probably wouldn't intimate it either, though. That's the difference.
Well, I know a couple of Navy SEAL buddies of mine, and, they don't talk too much about it, but, they get hired by foreign governments, and they're what do you call them? I don't know what you call them, operators, but they're not in the military. They were.
Right. They're contractors.
Contractors. That's the word I was looking for.
They are private military contractors.
Yes.
And we are a PMC, which is private military contracting company. That's what we are.
Oh, so you guys are like Blackwater. Is it Blackwater?
Blackwater is not.
What's the one where you hear about them and they're like the largest?
Oh, there's a few
private military you can hire.
There are a few,
and that's what they become, private military. Like I can hire you guys and have 100 freaking badass freaking warriors show up.
More than that.
Can I tell you what to do, or do you guys have to
There's some overlap.
We have to sanction it. So there are certain things that.
But let's say my daughter's in Mexico, and somehow she got nabbed. Would I call you?
Yes.
Yes, we can do that.
See, now we're talking business. See, I thought you said something about protecting firefighters. I'm like, what do they need protected from? The freaking ashes? Like, what's that? Protecting firefighters? You mean like when they're in like riot situations?
There's various work. So, some of it has to do with crisis relief. Really, we only take work that we believe in. So we've been offered quite a bit of work that we have not taken. I won't even say what that is, but that we don't believe in and that we don't want to do. But if we do believe in it, then we do want to do it. So, this industry, private security, defense, which are really two different industries that we're both in. Private security, by the way, and private military contracting are the same thing. They're just, one sounds more politically correct and may, the name may apply more in certain situations, but, we do a lot of things. So crisis relief.
But if people are listening, cause I got, huge people listening, and then, people that are trying to be huge listening. So I'm trying to figure out, what to say to them to let them know, like, hey, if you need this, call these guys. And really, it's like, if you ever need force on your side somehow, and you're on the right side. It sounds like they need to be on the right side but they could call you guys and you guys could literally provide that force. And whether it's getting a daughter back or whether it's protecting something that's being delivered or whether it's, defending an area that needs to be defended, like literally with guns and everything.
Yeah. And in a multitude of ways. So, another thing that we're developing,
you guys have an executive security division. So like the bigwig travels to Costa Rica. They bring a couple of you guys to make sure shit goes down. You're getting out of it.
You're talking about executive protection.
We can do executive protection work. However, with certain of those kinds of jobs, I really like to examine them ahead of time to make sure what we're going to do actually aligns with ethics. The ideal that we have. Yes.
Yeah.
The use of force. I mean, deliver my hands from blood guiltiness, O Lord. That David says that to God in the Psalm. We want to preserve life. We want to protect life. We want to advance and protect the interests of our country. We prefer to do it on the side of protection and force amplification rather than direct conflict.
Yeah. In other words, if you're a criminal, don't bother calling. But if you're like serious and in need of like military type operations, and there's, I can't think of any I'd need, but I mean, like, there's probably people that like, this is all legit. Like, I need help, and I wouldn't know who to call if I ever did. So now I would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's more to it. Like we're developing a technology right now. I won't talk too much about it. I can't talk too much about it, but essentially it's a crisis and threat prediction model. This is the overarching technology. And then it has sub-technologies, which you can connect to like anti-drone technology and other anti-weaponry. And it could also be used for engineering purposes. Like you said, well, I can't think of anything that I could use. But for example, we could take our technology and analyze your building here, this wonderful building, and tell you what risks you have. There's various that could be said. And then you could take that information and implement it. Or if you said, well, what do I do with this? Then we could tell you.
And probably do it for me.
That's right.
Yeah. So, man, that's interesting. It sounds like you guys have fun all day.
Oh, goodness.
This is why I wanted to be a cop. Because this shit right here, if you're into this kind of thing, it's like every day is a killer day.
It is. Every day is a killer day. And, I'd say I'm especially blessed because I have such a good friend and brother. We didn't grow up together. I just met him later on in life, and I can trust him.
If you didn't run into him, dude, you'd be selling freaking timeshare or something.
Who knows what I'd be doing?
Dude, I'm in sales. That's what happens. You just keep selling. You get better at selling. You find yourself either in business for yourself because you're a closer, but you don't find yourself freaking running around playing freaking hero and army and war.
That's 100% correct. And, one of the first circumstances that got us into this industry, he got in easy. I mean, he's an obvious choice. Okay, look at his background. Oh, goodness, he's overqualified. And how I got into it is, hey, do you know anyone? And he's like, I would die in a trench next to this man. And he said, okay, well, call him. We'll see if he turns out to be what you say he is.
So you obviously have had to go through all the training yourself.
To a degree. Or
do you just sell it and you don't participate?
Oh, no. We hold a company-wide standard. For example, and I'll let him talk about this because he's the expert. But, for example, like he said, we're raising the standards. We have a PT test. Everyone has to pass the PT test. To be in KDT, Night Division Tactical, you have to pass the PT test. Doesn't matter if we like you, if we don't like you, you have to pass the PT test. If you're in the legal unit, so we have different branches.
Did you say legal?
Legal unit. So we have
so there's an illegal unit?
No. There's different branches.
There's an undercover unit. What's the opposite of a
wouldn't
legal
tell you that,
unit?
would I? So we have
Little known unit.
we have 3 branches. Central Intelligence Command is like the main command branch of KDT.
You guys all want to join. Is there an age limit?
No, there's no age
You
limit.
just got to pass a test.
Dude, I need to get, well, what's the test like?
Go ahead, Matthew.
So
Hold on. People are going to be mad that I interrupted them because everyone always
Okay.
bitches at me for stop. They were telling me a story.
Yeah, it's all right. So we have 3 branches.
Yeah.
Central Intelligence Command. Then we have SPEAR, which is kind of more of my branch. Strategic Pursuit and Exploration of Acquisition and Relations. I called it SPEAR because, you understand.
Sure.
And then there's Private Security Contracting branch, and that's more of his branch. And then there are different units in those branches. So in the Central Intelligence Command, there's legal, logistics, and intelligence. And intelligence is more, it's not like, hey, I'm smart. It's like intel gathering.
Yeah. Recon.
Just to, go off of what I was saying, everyone has to pass the PT test. If you're in legal, we have a guy working for us, extremely intelligent man, Bogdan, and he's Polish and absolute stud. He really is. And very, very smart. And he has to pass the PT test, and he's in the legal unit. He is our strategic compliance specialist. But he has to pass the PT test. I'll let Matthew explain what that is, but I do as well. So he sets the standard, and everyone has to follow it. Otherwise, you can't be in KDT.
So is there anybody that had to get booted because they were too fat and too lazy and too uninvolved?
Well, we're raising the standards.
That's
I would
code
say-
for, we have a few fatties now we're getting rid of.
Well,
hopefully not.
Yeah, they got to raise. They got to raise their.
have to.
They got to raise, man. You raise the standards. That means, hey, we're not kicking you out. You're going to kick yourself out. But here's the new level.
Yeah, we give everybody a good advance notice of the physical standards moving forward. And those physical standards are actually based on necessary performance within our world. It's important to be physically fit in a private military and security contracting organization.
Sure it is.
And we want to hold that example throughout the organization, especially at the executive or administrative level as well. And sometimes those guys find themselves out in the field. So they have to be fit too. And we've given everybody not just the time and the motivation, but also the tools and the training to be able to meet that standard that we've set. And I don't even think that it's an unrealistic initial standard for a company-wide a physical standard that we've set so far. Certain units and certain operations will have even more stringent physical standards, but this initial one I think is doable. I basically just modeled it off of the Army.
Why don't you guys start a youth division?
I've thought about this many times.
Well, because
many
again, there's a
times.
lot of parents that have little kids that are just dicks, and they need this to become like actual good people. And parents don't have the background, and it's almost like creating a little, ROTC type thing where like they're not really operators, but you treat them like that and you train them like that, and they learn discipline and they learn respect. And parents are willing to pay all kinds of money. That's why boarding schools exist and things like that exist, because, these kids are heading in the wrong direction. So you guys could have a nice division, tactical youth division, where basically parents pay you big money to let their kids train.
I've thought about this actually a lot. Something that I really care about. We both care about. Family, and it really goes back to, why did we create KDT in the first place? It wasn't exclusively, okay, we want to make money, we want to whatever. That's extremely important. I want to make money, to be clear, but it's thinking about the world on a civilizational need level. How can we positively impact civilization and be as Christ-like as we possibly can be? But I've thought about that a lot. Youth and helping them as much as I can. Hopefully we can be good examples just in our everyday lives and lead by example. Ductus exemplo. It's an lead by example in Latin. One of my favorite.
Ductus exemplo.
Ductus.
Ductus.
Exemplo. EXEMPLO.
I like that.
Yeah,
Good
I like
example.
it too. And
Right here, I have force avec virtu.
yeah. I saw
Strength with honor, apparently. Is what that means.
Yeah.
Dude, so yeah, I would, if I were you guys, I would freaking think about, hey, because you have so many guys now, you can just say, hey, you guys are going to go train youth and just get them ready. And then you find some, operators out of there, and it becomes like a little farm league.
We might get to that point.
That's
That's an idea.
That's
well, again, I'm an idea guy. I scale businesses like,
we know you are.
I wasn't supposed to be successful. I just am, because I think like you do, where A, I'm a sales guy, but B, if you believe it and you think it and you're like, you make a decision, like that's what we're doing, that's what happens. Mm-hmm. And I've had crazy, I say it's God, but I've had crazy times where like people, oh, he ain't gonna make this one. And all of a sudden, boom, phone rings, bang, check comes in, bang, payroll's made. They're like, the hell, dude, you got like freaking some angel with you?
Isn't that the life?
Yeah. And I'm like, yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I have 4. I was going to start something called like Quad Angel or something, because I think, if you're born, they send an angel to protect you.
Guardian angel.
He gave me 4, and one of them's name's Michael. Archangel Michael.
Mm-hmm.
He's the most.
I like to think I know him.
He's the most powerful of all the angels. I think he was assigned to me because, man, I'll tell you, dude, I get protected. I'm like lucky as you can get. But it's also because gratitude, So that's why I'm liking that youth division, because, dude, there's a lot of punk kids out there today. They don't have this discipline. And some go to the military, thank God, and get out and freaking become, good contributions. And then some of them, quit the military like a bunch of losers. And then some of them, never even get the option because they're that far off. And those are always the ones I like to help. The ones that are just like, everybody's forgotten them, written them off, and they're just screwed because they're still young, dude. Those guys don't know any better. Yeah. But, you can't save them all. But if you have a program, maybe there's only 10 people in it. But I bet you'd find that to be a very lucrative thing.
Fulfilling.
Fulfilling, yeah. What about like if somebody calls you guys and wants to, it's ethical and it's legal and all that, but it's not something you want to do. You just turn it down?
Well, it depends. So if it's like if it's a stepping stone to broaden our horizons or get into a certain system, the defense and security, but especially defense industry is really like this. It's like, okay, if you want to engineer nuclear facilities, well, maybe the best method is to start off by doing some construction, something. Maybe it doesn't pay that much, but it sets good relationships and it shows people, hey, everything that I do extremely well. Otherwise, I don't want to do it. And so if it's a stepping stone, we'll do it as long as it's not immoral. If it's immoral, then we don't want to do it and we won't do it.
Who shows up for the job?
Various people. I mean, it depends on what the work is.
Do they look like operators?
A lot of them.
Yes.
Some people, you look into their eyes and it's like you're staring into not a void, but the eyes of a lion or a similarly fearsome predator.
Mm-hmm.
And it's different than my eyes, actually.
Well, sometimes I donate to a group that basically goes and rescues trafficked children.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at this thing once where, this is this guy and that's that guy. And these guys are like you guys, they're like the business end of things. And then there's the operator end of things. And I could look around a room and I could see, I'm like, that's an operator, isn't it? And they're like, yes, he is. As a matter of fact, Rusty or whatever their nicknames are, come over here. He'd come over, very polite, but you can tell like, oh, that dude's an operator.
Yeah, we have quite a few.
So is that who shows up? Because you guys look damn near innocent. Like,
Thank you.
Like you ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Well, good.
You'd be surprised. I think this guy could if he wanted to, but maybe not to the same extent as other people that we have working for us.
That's right.
But our goal is to give them a task and a purpose. Our goal at this level is to win the work for them and then organize them in the effort so that it gets done and gets done excellently.
With like logistics, intel. What about comms? You guys got like,
oh yeah,
all the gear?
Of course.
So how long you guys been doing this?
Well, we basically just started right before last summer. And
that's not long.
No, it's not long. We started the company, created the company a little bit before that, like end of 2023. And we were just kind of setting it up for the time that we knew was approaching. And we scaled it to a decent amount so far, and we're growing.
How do you get jobs? How did you know where to go get the first deal?
What a great question. So, through knowing people, through understanding a niche, the riches are in the niches for sure. If you want to start a business, what's the best way to do it? Who's your target market? Oh, everyone. No. Hyper focus, and then grow, then expand after you truly understand. And that's what we do. We've truly understood our client, our target market, and now we're growing step by step. It's okay, I want to do this. Let's do this, make it the best, and then move on to the next thing and do that as well.
So if anyone's listening in the Bomb Squad, how can they help you? Like grow, scale. It sounds like you're prepared. Number one, I just put my business hat on. I think if I'm with these guys, I'd be like, dude, I need some operators. Why? Well, I got to get them up to standard, up to trained, get them in the brotherhood, get them working with us so everybody trusts each other. Like that's a process in and of itself. You don't just call up a bunch of friends and go do an operation. You gotta have people that like have been there a minute, right? At least you want to.
Yeah.
And then, just because they're currently in the military, that helps. Obviously, you get them out. They were just doing it. Now they're doing it with you. So but you're not recruiting every person that gets out of the military.
Everyone is welcome to apply. And I urge everyone, if they want to work with KDT in any capacity, to apply. Not everyone will get in. There is no guarantee, no promise.
Where do they apply?
Sure. On our website, nightdivisiontactical.com.
Pretty simple. So first thing in my mind, okay, I'm going to need people. Why? Because if I get a million other jobs, bro, I ain't got enough to go around. So I'd want people. And then my next thing is jobs. You want my 56-year-old advice?
Please.
If you want to grow and scale a company, even one like yours, this goes with any company. Okay. Number one, you got to get the vision, which is the plan. It sounds like you guys got that. But you get the vision and the plan. Then you got to get the right team, right butts in the right seats. Then you need a training system, right? SOPs, exactly how you do things so everybody's clear and easy. Then you get the lead flow, like where are the customers? And again, you can break down these are just general. Then you get the leads, right? Where's the leads coming from? Then you get the sales process down. Then you get the freaking KPIs down because you have to measure if you want to manage. And then you have to get the feedback loop in place, both internal and external. And then you need to, step on the gas, basically. So if I'm you guys and I'm following that, because that's what I follow, I got the vision. I need the team. You got a little team started, not little, but 150 people. How many people on the team if you had to like deploy everybody you got somewhere?
I mean, we have a large roster. So we have thousands of people on our roster.
So you can call in even more.
Oh yeah.
So you're prepared. You're ready to go to war if need be.
Right. Now
you need leads. Now you need the contracts.
Yeah.
And that's where he comes in, and the spear branch in general. We have very good and very hungry account executives.
But if you guys hired me right now and said, dude, you're one of the best salesmen in the world, if not the best, talking about me, I'd go, damn, where would I even start looking? Like, this is a unique I don't know. I wouldn't know. I'd have to say, dude, where do I look? I'll close them, but who am I looking for? Am I looking for executives? Am I looking for, who am I looking for?
Mm-hmm. And that's, I love that so much. So we have two, if you are approved to be a part of the Spear branch, be an account executive or maybe marketing or whatever, but an account executive, we'll go with sales first. We have two teams, Team Bravo and Team Alpha. And when you initially join...
Why'd you say Bravo and Alpha and not Alpha and Bravo?
Because it starts out Bravo. You start out, yeah.
And then Alpha's better?
Mm-hmm. You have to work your way into it.
Why didn't you start out Charlie?
It just made sense in my mind, really. I mean, I just thought about what would make sense, and it's working. I'm always open to recommendations.
So you enter in the Bravo division, which is code for junior salesperson or trainee.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can think of this as, it's essentially a group chat, a Telegram group chat. And it's like, okay, you're in there. And I like to think of it kind of like a fishbowl. And it's like, okay, you throw these fish in and, if you're in sales, everyone knows this term shark. Maybe it can mean something good, maybe not, but I'm sure you have been called that before. Oh, he's a shark, right? Especially in like retail sales, they use that term a lot. Well, it's like, okay, who's the shark, right? And I'm not saying you have to devour the other fish, but who's going to survive? Who's going to keep trying? The ones who keep trying through Team Bravo and do well can go beyond that into Team Alpha. And once you're in Team Alpha, things are different. It's not like, hey, try to find something. It's like, this is what you should focus on. Here is everything I know with a very strong contract behind it. Because if you're with us, this is another thing, just kind of company wide. We pay the most, for sure. There's no doubt about that. We also have a very strong contract, always, which is like, I don't want you really to ever compete against us. And it's not so much that I'm worried. Our determination, I'd say, is like second to none. But more so, it's just a matter of priority. I want you to work with me. If you do extremely well, I'm going to reward you. I'm going to pay you the most. And I want you to stay with us as a team.
Because some of those guys end up trying to start their own now that they know how to get the deals. They got to get the people too.
Perhaps so. There's a lot that goes into it. Yeah. I'll give an example though. I had a contract opportunity. We had a contract opportunity. And I won't say exactly what it was for, but it was for finding parts, which by the way, we can do for a very, very specific thing. And the parts are nearly impossible to find. So I send out to Team Bravo, which had like 14 people in it. I said, find this. Here's some tips. Good luck. Instead of me doing it myself. And
did you have the message disintegrate after it was delivered?
No, it's not there anymore. I can tell you that. But
you guys are like cloak and dagger and shit. It's like, if you choose to accept this, find these parts. Good luck, gentlemen.
Speaking of
cloak and dagger, we did bring you a small present.
Small gift.
A small gift that I've had in my pocket the entire time. Nobody noticed. And that's kind of the point. It's this right here.
What is it?
It's actually a dagger.
Right on. This is cool.
But it's made out of a...
This is actually probably stickable, isn't it?
Of course.
Yes.
It's lightweight, passes a metal detector, I assume.
There
Correct.
you go.
It's made purely out of plastic.
And so I was going to say...
you never find yourself in a situation to actually have to use that.
But it's usable.
it's usable. Yes.
Dude, this is badass. Thank you.
I like daggers, blades, swords.
Well, I can tell when you handed it to me, like this ain't just a little toy. This is actually usable.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed undetectable.
Exactly. That's the point.
Yeah, I think freaking worked just as good as a metal blade.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it? You just had it in your pocket?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I often have a lot of interesting things in my pockets.
Thank you. Now, is this something you can get on a military tactical thing or something?
Yeah, you can get it online from different blade retailers.
We're not sponsored by anyone.
It's a little bit harder to find than.
Do you guys want to be sponsored by people?
We're open to strategic partnerships.
Yeah, because I got buddies with gun manufacturing. You ever heard of Christensen Firearms?
Yes.
Yeah.
I hear they're high quality.
I've heard that too.
Top of the line. I'll text you with my buddy. He owns it.
Perfect.
Okay.
And I'll be like, these guys got a little operation that you might do some business with, and just talk to him. He's a cool dude, and he might end up sponsoring, and then maybe like give you some, and you buy the rest. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we're open to sponsor strategic partnerships. We have a few strategic partnerships we're working on right now. I don't think that they would mind if I mention them, but some pretty cool companies, like one of them's called Uplink, which is actually a, I won't explain this the best way, but it is a fintech company. And the cool thing about them is that they're AI based, and that they're like a budgeting, bookkeeping, tax software company. But it's all done like this. And they are essentially a tech company that does bookkeeping, but they're very good at what they do. And I really like the efficiency and the effectiveness, and the UI is outstanding. So
it's probably AI driven.
It is AI driven.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the real near future, if not already, based on what you're describing, like, dude, AI can do your books. AI can freaking be your lawyer. Like, someone just sent me an agreement for this new co they want me to start. And I'm like, I don't know if we need to start a new company. I think we just make an agreement between our companies. Oh, no, we want a new co. And as soon as you're in bed with somebody, now it's like way different. So they're
Look
like,
it up, Link.
I said, well, just send it on over. And so they sent over the agreement, and I just upload it to my trained chat GPT language model.
Brad Chat.
And I'm like, hey,
Brad Chat.
yeah, do I want to sign this? Ask me questions that you need, and then I need to know if this is signable. Well, what's the goal? I answer its questions. I hit a button, and nope, there's a problem, that's 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 a problem. Now, if you want this thing to be fair and mutual and based on what you said, just change these to this and you're good. Literally, boom, 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 back within 5 minutes. They're like, your lawyer read it that fast? I said, yes, she did. Mm-hmm. Even though it's just Chat GPT reading my contract. You know how much money you save? Now, again, I would advise if anybody, go to a big deal or something major, always have a real attorney look at it, just so there's someone to hold accountable, because you can't hold Chat GPT accountable for the advice it's given you. But that's a good preliminary. Mm-hmm. And then you send it to your lawyer as a final review, and it's much cheaper. Boom. I think your uplink is probably somebody real smart that trained some AI to like do some quick math, and boom, that's how it happens so quick. Mm-hmm.
They made the AI in question. They didn't train a model. They made a model.
Ooh.
Which is pretty interesting.
What's it called? Uplink?
Uplink. UPLINQ.
Mm. Yeah. And it does bookkeeping.
Does bookkeeping. They have tax accountants. They have, pretty cool company. Pretty cool.
Well, even tax accountants I'd use it for, because like the laws change with the tax laws every year. Mm-hmm. And unless you're a brain and you keep up with it, how the hell would you know how many changes were made? But AI would. AI would know it in 2 seconds. As soon as all the 798 changes and what it affects all the way through, it would just be like, blink, got it.
Yep.
Yeah. AI, man. What are you guys doing with AI?
Well, that's, going back to our main technology, which you can look at KDT in the similar way as I just explained Uplink, as like a tech company that does security, private military contracting, defense work. So we're developing a technology right now. Again, overarching technology. We will call it KDT Tech for now. But
we'll come up with a better name.
We have a better name, but I just won't say it.
Yeah, before we.
What does it do? And I'll come up with the best name you ever heard.
I would say end of the year. But is when it's due. And what it does is...
Call it chain mail.
Chain mail. That's not bad.
I actually like
That's
that one.
not bad,
That's
actually.
good.
Yeah. But it's a crisis prediction and threat prediction technology. So most crises can be predicted. Anything from a forest fire, a hurricane, a terrorist attack. There's huge data models out there and lots of information that it can learn from and predict these things before it happens. And so what our technology does is it does that, and then we can connect it with other technologies, sub-technologies, that can actually act on it. So, anti-drone, which I really want to talk about, by the way. There's a lot of drone companies out there, and I won't say anything bad about them. I have nothing bad to say about them. But a lot of drone companies, a lot of people who are making missiles and drones and this drone and that drone and whatnot. And that's all good and well. Sure, there's a use case. What we try to focus on at KDT is developing technology that saves lives and not takes them. So, of course, like I said, there's a use case when someone's life is taken, unfortunately. But what we try to do is make the technology that can take down the drone, can save the life, can prevent the crisis. And that's what we do. And our forces are trained to back that up. And all of our operations are ran on our technology.
And it's intellectually interesting, too.
And it's proprietary?
It's proprietary, of course. That's why I'm not saying too much right now. Taking notes?
Coming up with a name.
I have a pretty cool name. I'll tell
With
you
Brad
after.
Chat.
The Brad Chat. Yeah.
Well, I just think chainmail because of the knights.
I like
knights wear chainmail.
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think it's SIGIL. 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 Black sigil.
Ooh. Maybe not that one.
Basically, the meaning is, in medieval lore, a sigil represents a powerful omen. The black sigil could symbolize the mark of coming crisis or darkness ahead. White sigil.
Oh, now you're thinking, Brian.
Wow, maybe that direction.
Elite. The vibe is elite, ominous, predictive power. See the mark before the strike. White sigil. The white sigil's a good one. Watchtower. Nightfall. That's a good one.
Uh-huh.
Double meaning, refers to the fall of a night, imminent danger, and sounds like nightfall, approaching darkness. Nightfall. That fits in. Vibe is urgent, commanding, cool. Before the fall, there's a warning. War room. Omen blade. I'll get you a name. Don't you worry.
I think you'll really like the name that we have when I tell you.
Well, it has to do with nights.
Perhaps.
So when's that come out? End of summer, you said?
Roughly end of the year. Yeah.
And who uses that?
The government, private companies. It has a large list of applications. But essentially, you can think of anything that needs to be secured. We have the capability to secure it in various means, whether that is anti-weaponry, which we're super passionate about, or actual private security, private military forces. It's all backed by the same technology.
So a lot of these listeners are collaborative, right? Because they follow me, and if they follow me, we're not really competitive, even though we are, because I am, but I'm also collaborative, meaning I'd rather collaborate than compete. I think when you compete, you're trying to take what's there for yourself.
Right.
And when you collaborate, you're trying to produce more of what's there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're just rewarded for that. Mm-hmm. So I always preach collaboration rather than competition, but I think my listeners, a lot of them are collaborative as well. So, if they want to go to work and play Call of Duty for real.
Real Call of Duty. It
Then
is the real Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys play Call of Duty?
No.
I do.
We don't play video games.
You don't?
No.
Why?
You know, I used to play video games. And you said you do. I have nothing against it.
I still do. I'm going to go home in a minute and play some. But I only play Call of Duty.
Okay.
It's because, like I said, dude, I wanted to be a cop.
You could join KDT.
You could join KDT.
Dude, I'm not joking. I might be a little too old. I got to see what your real shit is. But like, you know, I always say, like, you know, we went to war right now and we were in a crisis and they said, you know, all able men show up. I'd show up.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go to war.
On our side.
Well, 100%. That's why I'd go to war. Cause like crisis, like they're coming here, like major shit, Red Dawn, like all able men better show up. Like I'm showing up. I'm not old like that. And I'm pretty capable. But I'd want trained and I'd want the freaking tools. I don't want to go over there and say, put them up, you know, give me some weaponry, give me some training, you know, and let me get out there and I'm an asset, but I'm also one of these, like, you know, I'm not going to go out there with brute force and run into a freaking gunfight. I'm going to try to avoid it at all costs. But if I can't, no problemo. You heard of Chris Kyle?
Yes.
Yeah. He was the top sniper. And the only reason he was the top sniper is because I wasn't over there.
That's right.
Dude,
that's what I heard too.
Hey, I swear to God, like you put me in a war situation with a sniper rifle and the training, of course, I'd have no issues. And I don't know what they go through. So they might be snipers listening going, you don't say that shit. Dude, I'm obviously assuming I've never been in the situation, but I just think to myself, and maybe it's too much Call of Duty, but like, I don't care if it's a 9-year-old kid or a freaking nun walking down the road towards my guys and there's been explosives. Like, I'm not going to think. I'm going to be sitting there in the crosshairs going, got him in the crosshairs. Just give me your okay. And if they say go, bang, no issues. I don't care. Why? Maybe too much Call of Duty. No, man, those are my guys right there. Like, you're not getting near it. I don't care if you're a cute little kid or a cute little lady. You don't have to be some strapping dude that looks ominous. Like, dude, if in a war situation, and that's why Chris was the most, you know, I don't know what the word is, but like successful or
elite.
Yeah, because dude, he had to make some hard decisions and he had to freaking, you know, pull that trigger a lot. And what sucks is then he came home and some dipshit killed him. Can you believe that shit?
Yeah.
Like, dude, see what I mean? Like, we got whack jobs in the country. And sometimes, man, it makes me angry to where, anyway, yeah, I'd like to play real Call of Duty. So there's listeners that want to play real Call of Duty. I'd suggest they go apply. I mean, you probably won't get in. It sounds like it, but hey, maybe there are. And then I have friends that are in the business. You guys want like anybody to reach out that you can collaborate with?
Anyone. They can talk to me. They can talk to Matthew. They could reach out to one of our account executives. One of them's Nicholas Norman. You can find him on LinkedIn. You can find him on our website. His contact card's on our website. But you know, any kind of collaboration we're open to. Construction, telecommunications, engineering.
Explain
defense.
Construction. Like, I don't get it.
Oh, there's various.
You put the guns away and get out your work boots? What do you mean, construction?
Yeah.
Well,
hey, I need a barn built out back.
Maybe not a barn, but
what do you mean by construction?
What we recognize in the course of working for the government in the security sector is that they also have a lot of other needs as well that they pay quite well for.
Like bridges?
Infrastructure of different kinds. We could build a bridge. We haven't done that yet. I'd actually quite like to build a bridge if we had the opportunity. But then also working on systems. Systems maintenance, putting together systems, engineering solutions that actually cooperate with technologies from other large defense contractors. Mm-hmm. I actually was just out in the field somewhere in this country leading a team, engineering, and then on site installing a technology which will assist in making
Detection.
America safer.
Detection.
Anti-weaponry.
It is actually anti-weaponry.
So it's knocking drones out.
You could say that.
You could say that.
Talk about the anti-drone technology.
Mm-hmm. So that's one of the sub-technologies that we have. So we actually are not producing drones. So we don't want to make drones. We don't want to make missiles. We don't really want to focus on anything that kills people.
Yeah.
Now, if that needs to happen, it needs to happen. But what we're focused on is developing anti-weaponry that can take those down. So there's plenty of companies making drones, and they do a very good job at it. Palantir, Anduril. There's others. There's a lot of others. And our goal, our pursuit, is to make people and our clients more secure from those threats. So anything that
You guys are the good guys.
you could say that
You'll kill if you need
God
to.
willing.
Hopefully you don't have to. You'd rather disarm. I get it.
I'd rather take it down.
Yeah. Because
With
I mean,
electronic
and
warfare.
a lot of times, like, that is the best thing, you know, even though they have a swarm. I mean, the drone warfare is scary as hell. Because if you are, you know, a leak or a mark or somebody doesn't want you around, and you know, you walk out of your house in the morning before someone would have to be there to kill you or plant a bomb. Now you just walk out and this little thing goes bzzz, smash, and you're done, and no one knows what the hell happened. And I bet you the drone probably can't even be traced.
And if you have KDT's technology,
It won't get
that
near
wouldn't
you.
happen to you.
Yeah. Well, that's a good technology to have.
And it's a problem that needed to be solved, and needs to be solved at scale as well.
Yeah. So I'm going to hook you up with a couple people I know right after this. I'll bet you one guy that I'll put you with will probably hire you, because he's the type of dude that hires people like you. He might even have a team like yours, but I know he also hires because he has work everywhere. He's a dude. Like, I'll tell you what, he's also one that heavily funds that child trafficking. He'll grab a bunch of these black op dudes and run down to a country and save 15 kids and ship them out. He'll go in and get people out of areas that you wouldn't go into, not you, but normal people, and gets them out. And he flies in there himself sometimes. And he's like a billionaire.
I'd love to be connected with
Yeah,
him.
no, I'm gonna connect you. You're right up his alley. He'll probably appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, he wants more resources, and when you have networks of networks, you just get more capable. And he's financially, you know, he can do anything. Well, not anything, but. And then my other buddy, he was I believe, Army Ranger. And he like does things like, he was responsible for training Al Qaeda. People are like, no, we didn't train Al Qaeda. He's like, bullshit, we didn't train Al Qaeda, and bullshit, we're not over there doing the things that they say we're not doing. Yes, we are doing it. And because he was doing it. And again, he was just getting contracted. You and him, he might be the one that does the shit you guys turn down. But not anymore. Not anymore. Now he's a white hat. But he does go save kids and rescue kids. But him and this guy and someone that they're working with, and they're it's a financial tracking software that they're using to find these criminals through the finances. And you can find anybody, anywhere, anytime with this shit. And it's military grade, like high level, but they're getting it to be used outside of military. So you guys could use that software if you ever need to find people. He said, dude, I can find anybody, anywhere with this. He goes, it's unbelievable. So he went to Libya for like 3 months and made some deal, and he's out making big deals. And he was an operator. He wasn't rich, but now he's pretty damn, he's getting there if he's not already. Because these government contracts, not just with the U.S., with all kinds of governments, So I'm going to hook you up with them here in a minute. What can the bomb squad do for you other than what I just mentioned to them? Because I guarantee you're going to get people that want to play Call of Duty. You'll get some applicants that just, it sounds cool. I mean, this is cool stuff that you're talking about. And then I don't know how many that like need paramilitary organizations or private military organizations, but I'll be surprised how many people listen. So maybe they'll reach out. But what can the bomb squad do for you two?
Well, we can do, our capability list is large. And that'll be listed on our website soon, our capability statement. So by the time this podcast releases, we'll have it on our website. But it's by request only right now. But we're open to contracting. We're open to subcontracting. Absolutely open to networking. Listen, I don't even want to network. To be honest, I'm actually pretty introverted. But when it comes to business, I'm more than willing to speak. And so we're open to subcontracting opportunities, especially with prime contractors. We're open to actually being the contractor, which we are often. And we're also open to strategic partnerships and marketing opportunities.
Where can people follow you guys?
Yeah.
You have your own accounts?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah. So my personal account is just at MP McCalla.
MP.
And I use that across platforms.
That's MCALLA.
Yes.
Yep. And then mine is Schulz's Cross. So SCHULZSCROSS.
Schulz's Cross and MP McCalla.
That's right.
Folks, go look these dudes up. You're up there in my neck of the woods, Oregon. I'm going to have you back. See how you guys are doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys, I think, are going to go out and make a big impact, do some good. I want the bomb squad to help, to support, obviously, at least follow, if not engage. And if anybody is in need of some highly organized, elite, ethical people to come help you do something, then call Knights Division Tactical.
KDT.
KDT.
Tactical. Yep.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming in, man. I didn't think you guys were this. That's for sure. Because I like to not know too much so I can have a real conversation, instead of I already know what your answers are going to be and I already know what you're going to say. It doesn't come across real. And so I didn't know too much and I was like, what does this really mean?
Mm-hmm.
And also you guys don't look ominous. Good. And how come you don't have a cowboy hat on?
I would never wear a cowboy hat out of
Don't
the
get him
setting.
started on the cowboy hat indoors.
But do you ever wear one?
If
he's riding a horse,
mm-hmm.
then he'll wear a cowboy hat. But I know this actually. I'm not a rancher by extension here, but I know enough about it now. You don't wear the cowboy hat indoors unless you're in Texas and we spend a lot of time in Texas and everybody wears a cowboy hat indoors.
Not in southern Indiana.
It's not what a true gentleman will do.
It's not how I was raised.
I like to take my hat off indoors.
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Folks, we're going to have these dudes back for another episode. Catch up on them. Until next time, be ethical and keep it real.